All right, let's do it. Welcome, everybody. This is our first official session. I would say it's even session 0 for all of us for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We are going to be going over some core rules and concepts today. It might end up being a little bit of a try rulebook reading session, but at any point, any of you have questions, stop me, shout it out, and I might have to go take a second to where in the rules is that, and we'll figure it out. And by the end of the first hour and a half here, we will have a good concept of how to play the game. Everything else will come in practice, like the specifics of different actions based off of different skill usages or the understanding of how combat flows, and all of that will come with experience. So at the end of today's session, we'll do a small mock encounter where you are going to be a party of adventurers tracking goblins over a river and into the forest for some townsfolk. And we'll see how that plays out. But first, let's get a quick introduction. I am DM Aaron. I will be your arbiter and guide through this wonderful adventure through Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We also have joining with us Bobkins, the lovely Sam. Nice to have you here with us. We also have Foxglove, our lovely Allie, as well as Calabra Pat.
Hello.
Nice to have you with us. Nice to have you with us. CJ, Kobe, welcome. And Jared.
I forgot to change my name.
Oh, you didn't change your name? Well, I can't do the same introduction then. All right.
It's changed.
Oh, Rozek. Jared, welcome. And that was, of course, just, top down from Discord. No specific order to that. All righty, Rue. Let's get to this.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's talk about some basic core concepts, some flat kind of rules that persist throughout the game. Game conventions, we might say. Obviously, the first and foremost rule of most tabletop role-playing games is that the DM has final say. To avoid getting bogged down in a bunch of nonsense, we throw trust over to me to arbitrate and resolve any situation that might be tying up the game or that we might be unsure about for the sake of game flow. Whether or not my decision is correct, we'll go back and look it up later and see how it's properly done. If we don't understand that moment, and we feel like it'll take too much time. Another core principle is that specific will always override general. If a rule in your skill set, your class features, whatever it happens to be, overrides something in the general rules, you work by that rule. That's how that works. Specific rules will always override general. If there's ever any ambiguity, however, and you don't know which one to take, you take the general rule. Rounding down. You round down all the time. Multiplying. When one effect would multiply the same number, when more than one effect would multiply the same number, this one gets complicated because it's math. You don't multiply more than once. Instead, you combine all of the multipliers into a single multiplier, with each multiplier after the first adding one less than its value. For instance, if an ability doubled the duration of one of your spells, and another ability doubled the duration of the same spell, you would not quadruple the duration, you would triple it. All right?
That makes my math brain sad.
No one said anything about multiplication.
Yeah, and this is Pathfinder, guys. It's there's gonna be a lot of this.
Some people call it Mathfinder.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You thought the D&D sheets that were automated fucked up enough, right? Woo! you might wanna personally manage these ones.
But math is always
All right.
supposed to be math.
I'm just not good. Woo! All right. Duplicate effects. It doesn't work. You may only have one single benefit upon you at the same time. When you're affected by the same thing multiple times, only one instance applies, using the higher level of the two effects. You can't be double hasted. You can't be, I mean, we have to get deeper into the minutiae of the game to find out the more specifics, but you're not going to be double stacked on mage armor. You're not going to have, two people having applied the same AC buff to you. It's just not how it works.
That also goes for, it'll say circumstance. You can't have more than one circumstance bonus, I believe, either.
Fantastic.
But if they're two different bonuses, though.
If they say circumstance, you got to look at the tags.
Okay.
Right.
There's
if they say
tags
circumstance, you can only have one circumstance bonus. There's other types of bonuses you can have, but only one circumstance. You'll take the higher of the two.
All right, guys. When it comes to checks, everybody here understands what a check is. But for those of you who might not out in the world, a check is when you are called upon to roll a d20 and usually add your modifier. When you will not be asked to use your modifier is when you are making a flat check. Flat checks come into play a few different times, mostly when you're talking about concealment of creatures and random rules, and we'll find out what else they're coming. We'll go down here. I don't know everything yet. I don't know anything yet. We'll get there. All right. So we have proficiency ranks in this. You're not simply boom proficient, boom expertise. I'm amazing at everything. That's not how it works in Pathfinder. You slowly rank up your skill proficiencies. You go from untrained to trained, which will then give you a bonus of +2 plus your level in that trained skill, to expert for +4, master for +6, and legendary for +8. There's no expertise automatic double your proficiency, and there might be some of that in some of the feats, when you get into the minutiae of the game, but not just flat. All right. And obviously, when we roll a check, I have a DC set in my mind. You roll, you add your modifiers to whatever your D20 shows up. I say, all right, you meet or you did not beat, or you succeed or you fail, or whatever I happen to say in that moment that resolves the check, and we move on from there. You take damage or you don't, or something happens to you. We find out, and that's the fun of the game. All right. Moving on forward. All right. When we're talking about the action economy of the game, what you want to talk about is the fact that there is no broken up specific minutia of actions. Most people will be coming from a 5e perspective, where you have the movement, the bonus action, the action, and then the minutia of other abilities. And that's a fine way to do things. It's a lovely way to do things. But Pathfinder handles this with a little bit more freedom for your character. What Pathfinder gives you is 3 actions per turn. 3 of them. And only 3. With those 3 actions, you perform everything. You do everything. You cast spells, which usually cost more than 1 action to cast per turn. What I'm seeing base is about 2 actions per spell cast as normal. You can take the stride action and move your movement speed. You don't just get free movement. That means you can stride 3 times and move 3 times in a row. What this also means is that you can take the attack action 3 times and not move at all. Now let's talk about that. If you do decide to attack 3 times in a row, you will do so at an increased penalty for each attack. -5 for the first one, -10 for the next one. And if you're agile, it'll be cut down by 1 per stack for 1 and 2, for 4 and 8, respectfully.
That's
all right.
The second and third attack, not
Yes.
the first and second, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
First attack space.
Now, when we're talking about ranged weapons, D&D handled this in a different way, where you had your minimum/maximum range. And that was okay. That was a decent way to do things. Pathfinder simply has range. Okay? If the range of a weapon is, we'll make this very easy. If the range of the weapon is 50, you can shoot to 50 with no penalties. Good job. For every extra 50 feet that you're shooting, you will take a -2 penalty, meaning you can shoot out to 100 feet at -2. You can shoot out to 150 at -4. You can shoot out to 200 at -6, all the way up to -10. Everybody get that?
Mm-hmm.
Once you hit -10, you auto miss. You cannot shoot past that range. You're that's a decent way to do it. I like that. That's fun. That's fun. All right. On this note, let's also talk real quick, because we're in this kind of combat mindset. Criticals. I'm sure everybody's curious about how criticals work in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. In combat, 2-hit criticals are really fun, actually, because I got a critical the first roll I made in Pathfinder. It was great, but I didn't roll a nat 20. I just hit more than 10 points over their armor class. That's it. A critical effect occurs if you are hit with a natural 20 or somebody beats your AC by more than 10. That's a critical.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. You also have critical success and critical failure on most abilities, on most of them. This generally means rolling 5 above or 5 below your DC when you make a check. And we'll find out more about this later in depth when you guys start casting spells and trying to get over the river in the forest later. Sound good?
That goes for saving throws, too.
Saving throws as well. Mm-hmm. Now, on the topic of saving throws, we have only 3 kinds. We have reflex, which is self-explanatory. Fortitude, which is usually pretty self-explanatory, but if you don't know what fortitude is, it's your ability to withstand, be resilient, to take it. It's like your strength and con saves from 5e. And we have will, which is your mind affected stuff. So you have your reflexes, your fortitude, and your will saves. Very simple, very simple. All right. AC is effectively unchanged. It's really not that different, except you can suffer from a condition called flat-footed in Pathfinder. Flat-footed will remove your dexterity from your AC. That's it. That's it for that.
Can you explain flat-footed?
Yeah. You'll be flat-footed when you're caught off guard. You'll be flat-footed when you're stuck. You'll be flat-footed when you're prone. You'll be flat-footed in any situation where you would not reasonably benefit from your natural dexterity. If an enemy does not announce themselves by words, but instead announces themselves with flaming arrows hurling out of a bush, you are flat-footed instead of surprised. And we'll go look and see if I'm right about that later, because surprise might also exist.
I don't think flat-footed is your dex. I think it's just -2.
Is it just -2?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of nonsense. Let's do this.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It wouldn't be the first time. No, I've talked a lot of shit in my life. Yeah.
Let's look it up.
Now, let's look it up. That's what it's
Wow,
for.
we are looking it up. Hi, we're Idle Mimic Productions. And if you could do us a huge favor and hit like below this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications.
Mm-hmm. We like that bell ring. I mean, that bell ring makes us feel good. It's nice.
Yep, Pat's correct. -2.
It's validation. Okay, -2, which in some cases might be worse than losing your dex, or better, depending on how dexterous
Depending
you
if
are.
you have a dex, yeah.
Depending on how dexterous you are. Well, good thing that we're checking them out, right? All right. So, as I said, we're all learning this together, and we're going to make some mistakes here. Fumble along with us. All right. Moving back on up the list here. Let's check out what else we got to go on. Spell attack rolls. It's no different. Looking at it, it's literally no different from what we're used to. When you make it a spell attack roll, you'll make the spell attack with your spell casting stat, plus your proficiency, plus the d20 roll, plus any bonuses or minus any penalties that you might be currently suffering from. Very easy. You beat the creature's AC, you succeed. You beat their AC by a certain amount, you might critically succeed. The failure is conversely true. Let's take a moment to talk about perception. Perception in this game is, put it simply, one of the most fundamental stats in the game. Whether or not your character invests in it, it is important for, obviously, your overall awareness, but it's also generally important for your initiative. There's no initiative stat in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. When you roll initiative in combat or in a dire scenario that may not be combat but may require an initiative being brought to keep some kind of order going on, right? You will roll that initiative based off of what you are currently doing when initiative is called. And this could be different for each character. If Calabra is jumping off of a stairwell, stealthily trying to stab a knife into somebody's back, he might roll acrobatics or stealth for his initiative while everybody else up on top of the stairs watching in horror like, oh no, is rolling their perception check. Okay? If your character is attempting to begin a battle by stealing an enemy's weapon from them after having successfully snuck up right behind them, just trying to disarm them real quick, and that's how you begin that fight, you might roll a sleight of hand or comparable check for your initiative rather than perception. So it all depends. If you're currently trying to hide, you might roll a hiding check rather than perception for your initiative. So keep that in mind. And you might not have control over what you're required to roll. If I ambush you with something, it will be your perception, period. In fact, most of the time, it will be your perception that you roll, unless a specific character is trying to do a specific thing. Usually, the party will only end up rolling one person with a special check, and everybody else will have stealth or perception for their initiative based off of what they're doing. So it all depends on that specific scenario. But that's interesting. I thought that was really neat. Mm-hmm. It makes it so that you can't just stack and stack and stack your initiative, and it's like no matter what, you're first. That never made a lot of sense to me. I never got that, but this feels better. This feels better. Even a character who's specialized to be paying attention to their surroundings might still end up getting caught off guard. And it's interesting. It's interesting. Does anyone have any questions about that first part of perception?
No.
Okay, because now we're going to get into the actual annoying part of perception. There are 4 states of awareness that your character can be under. 4. They are unnoticed. You have no idea that there is a goblin in the room with you. Unnoticed. No idea. He's completely unaware to your senses and doesn't show up on the map. That goblin is unnoticed. That goblin is also, what was it? Unnoticed, undetected.
Undetected.
He's undetected. That guy, if you are unnoticed, you are by default undetected. If you are undetected, that does not mean you're unnoticed. A goblin could have run into this room and you could have chased him in there, and there could be no other exit. So you could be damn sure that that goblin is in there. That goblin is undetected, but not unnoticed. Everybody following me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The third state of being is unseen. Okay? Now, you have unnoticed, undetected, and now we have unseen.
Should be invisible.
Okay? No, unseen is simply when you know where a creature is, but do not have sight on them.
So
You watch, he's
Behind a rock or
behind
behind a
total
tree.
cover or something like that. And then the final state of awareness is observed.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay? Observed.
You know-
is, go ahead.
Yeah. You know the goblin's in the room,
Mm-hmm.
and then unseen is the goblin's behind the only rock in that room,
Mm-hmm.
You can't see him.
But you
So
can't
but
see
you
him.
can't see him, and then you walk around, you see him.
That's observed.
Yes.
But from where you are, if you're unseen, you can't target them. Or
So-
you have to you have to roll a d20, and if you roll
Let's-
over an 11,
That's
then you
called
can
a
target
flat check. That's called a flat check. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about targeting unseen and undetected creatures. Okay? Because obviously you can't target an unnoticed creature. Obviously. Right? You have no idea it's there. You can't target it. But let's put this scenario in your mind. You walk into that storeroom, and instead of one rock, Bob Bobkins, instead of one rock, you have 3 barrels. Doot, doot, doot. Okay? You know that behind one of those 3 barrels, there's a goblin. And so, in order to attack, you can still attack. If the creature is undetected, which means you don't know which barrel they're behind, you pick a barrel and you leave the rest to the DM. You declare your attack, and I will go into secret rolling. I will roll your d20 for you. I will not tell you the answer. I will also roll your attack for you. I will also not tell you the result of that attack. What I will say is, you attack the space behind the barrel. That's it. Because realistically, you don't know if you hit anything. If you're right there 5 feet away, sure, you might have heard, right, the goblin got hit by the arrow. I'll give you that. But if you're attacking that barrel and it's 50, 80 feet away, and you're trying to shoot through it with a gun or with a bow of some kind or some kind of magic lance, you might not know if you hit anything. And that's how Pathfinder wants it. Pathfinder wants you guessing. They want you unsure about anything that you would not realistically know.
It makes sense because you didn't observe it.
And it makes sense because, I mean, if you roll a 24, you would hit it if it's there. But if you don't know you rolled a 24...
You don't know if you hit or not.
You don't know if you hit it.
There's lots of secret rolls.
Well,
The
And
DM does a lot of rolling.
You have to trust me at certain parts of this. It's very much about a relationship of trust between us. I will tell you. You do or you don't. I will give you a result instead of telling you all of that meta information that you have no ability to work around, right? There's other roles conversely that work the same. I believe certain investigation checks work similarly, because in D&D, let's forget D&D a second. What happens if you, as a trap checker,
Mhm.
walk up to a door and you roll a 1 on your best effort to inspect that door, and you know you rolled a 1, what do you, the player, immediately know?
You critically failed.
You have no idea.
That you have no idea. That you don't know. You know you rolled poorly and that you got no information from the check. Pathfinder wants to avoid that. They really do. They want you to be constantly unsure about the results of the world. I mean, you could have done your best, and I'll tell you, you don't think the door is trapped, but you won't know that you rolled a 1.
So
You'll
as,
just think you did the best job you can. Go ahead, Allie.
so as a player, would this be our best scenario for you? So let's say I want to cast a spell at barrel number 2. Do I say, okay, I want to cast Firebolt?
Mhm.
I have no idea what the equivalent of Firebolt is, but we're just going to use Firebolt.
Sure.
I want to cast Firebolt at barrel number 2. I have a +7.
Yep. Good.
And-
And I'll say good. I'll describe you casting that firebolt. I'll describe the firebolt leaving your hand, even incinerating the space behind the barrel. But I won't tell you if you hit anything or if anything took damage.
And then, so would it be I have a +7? This attack is a 1d4 plus my intelligence modifier, which is a +4.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You give me your mods. I roll the dice. Outcome.
But if the goblin is there, I can see
Yes.
it. I roll.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now, let's also talk about the second state of being that I needed to cover there, which was unseen. If you know where a target is, you do get to make your attack roll against it. You also get to make the flat check. Am I doing that right?
Yeah, you have to make I think it's a flat d20, and you have to roll over an 11.
Yes, and that's representing a 50% chance of hitting something that might be crouched down in that
Yeah.
space or might have avoided you because of their concealment bonus, which is what that is. And then I believe what I tell you. Oh, that's right. You roll the flat check, or do I roll that? I'll look that up. Hold on. It's very confusing, audience. As you can tell, it's not very confusing. It's just
That's why
Big.
we're doing these videos and doing this from start to finish with session 0, so everyone can learn how to play Pathfinder with us. I mean, we are all very, very experienced D&D players that are learning how to play Pathfinder together.
And while he's looking that up, one of the things on the flip side of that, if you are the unseen person, you get the target that you're trying to hit is flat-footed.
mm-hmm.
So that's how rogues can get their sneak attacks and stuff. If they're considered hidden, even though there's one rock in the middle of the field, you're hiding behind it, you can't be seen, you still get your flat-footed bonus to hit that person.
Got it. All right, secret checks. Sometimes you as the player shouldn't know the exact result and effect of a check. In these situations, the rules, or the GM, will call for a secret check. The secret trait appears on anything that uses secret checks. This type of check uses the same formula that you would normally use for that check, but is rolled by the GM, who does not reveal the result. Instead, the GM simply describes the information or effects that would be determined by the check's result. If you don't know a secret check is happening, for instance, if the GM rolls a secret fortitude save against a poison that you failed to notice, I might have to roll all your saves for you sometimes. You can't use any fortune or misfortune abilities on that check. But if a fortune or misfortune effect would apply automatically, I should apply it to that secret check, which means we are going to need to keep those sheets updated. So that means that's no reactions, effectively, is what that is. except for automatic ones. If you know that the GM is attempting a secret check, as often happens when you use a recall knowledge or seek check action, you can usually activate fortune or misfortune abilities for that check. Just tell the GM and I will apply it to the check. Questions?
Are we gonna get to fortune and misfortune?
Yeah.
Oh wait, fortune and misfortune is what we call advantage and disadvantage, correct?
Yes.
I think so. All right. Temporary immunities are immunities that it is, yeah, temporary immunity is temporary immunity. That's fair. When you have immunity to a type of damage, you ignore the damage. When you have immunity to a specific condition or effect, you ignore that condition or effect. That seems very straightforward, right? Good. Weakness. If you have weakness to a certain type of damage, it is extra effective against you. So, whenever you take that type of damage, you increase the damage you take by the value of the weakness. So, if you have weakness 5 to fire, and you're taking something that does 2d6 fire damage, you'll then take 2d6 fire damage plus 5 automatically.
Actually, I think 5 is 25, because fire 1, I believe, is 5 points, like, or weakness 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know resistance is done that way, I believe.
There's
Like,
different levels.
If you have resistance 1, you have 5 points of resistance to something.
I'm seeing.
I think I might be wrong, obviously, but
If you have resistance to a type of damage, each time you take that type of damage, you will reduce the amount of damage taken by the listed amount to 0. Resistances can specify combinations of damage types or specify traits. For instance, you might encounter a monster that's resistant to non-magical bludgeoning damage, meaning it would take less, we all know this, less damage from bludgeoning attacks that weren't magical, but would take normal damage from your +1 mace, or a non-magical spear because it deals piercing damage instead. The example it gives, resistance 10 to physical damage would reduce any physical damage by 10.
okay, so it is 1 for 1. Okay.
1 for 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same with weakness. 1 for
Cool.
1.
Okay.
Yeah. Non-lethal attacks. There is a -2 circumstance penalty when you're trying to knock somebody out instead of kill them outright. Okay? Some weapons do not suffer this penalty. These weapons are designed to be non-lethal and will have the non-lethal descriptor in their nonsense. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
You can always use a weapon non-lethally if you take the circumstance penalty. Okay. Then there's a massive list of effects. Bear with me for a moment. Blinded, you cannot see. Broken, this item cannot be used for its normal function until it is repaired. Clumsy, you can't move as easily or gracefully.
Oh, that's just me in real life.
Mm-hmm. Concealed, fog or similar obscuration makes you difficult to see, or a target difficult to see. Confused, you act indiscriminately. Controlled, another creature determines your actions for you. Dazzled, everything is concealed to you. Deafened, you're unable to hear. Doomed, with your soul in peril, you are now closer to death. Drained, blood loss or something similar has leached your vitality. What else we got? Dying, that's easy. Yeah, we all get that, right? I mean, you're dying. Yeah. Encumbered, you're carrying more weight than you can manage. Enfeebled, your strength has been sapped. Fascinated, you are compelled to focus your attention on something. Fatigued, your defenses are lowered and you cannot focus while you are exploring. Flat-footed, you are unable to defend yourself to your full capability. Fleeing, you must run away. Friendly. An NPC with this condition has a good attitude towards you. Frightened. Fear makes you less capable of attacking and defending yourself. Grabbed. A creature, object, or magic now holds you in place. Helpful. An NPC with this condition wants to assist you. Hidden. A creature you're hidden from knows your location but cannot see you. Hostile. An NPC with this condition wants to harm you. Immobilized. You cannot move. Indifferent. An NPC with this condition does not have a strong opinion about you. Invisible. Creatures cannot see you. Observed. You are in plain view. Paralyzed. Your body is frozen in place. Persistent damage. You keep taking damage every single round. Petrified. You've been turned to stone. Prone. You're lying on the ground and are easier to attack. Quickened. You get an extra action each turn. Ooh. Restrained. You're tied up and cannot move, or a grappling creature has pinned you. Sickened. You are sick to your stomach. Slowed. You lose actions each turn. Stunned. You can't use actions. Stupefied. You cannot access your full mental capabilities, and you have trouble casting spells. Unconscious. You've been knocked out, or you are asleep. Undetected. A creature you're undetected by does not know where you are. Unfriendly. NPCs don't like you. Unnoticed. A creature is entirely unaware that you are present. Wounded. You've been brought back from the brink of death, but have not fully recovered. On that note, that is our list of conditions, and there are more that have been added to the game as the game has expanded. So we might run across a few that we don't know yet. We might have to look up. But what I do want to talk about is dying. It is different than 5e. It is more impactful. It is more difficult to deal with. Dying leaves stacking debuff, or dropping down leaves stacking debuffs called the wounded condition. So let's just get into this and pay attention, because this one really matters. This is a very important one. The doomed, dying, and unconscious and wounded conditions all relate to the process of coming closer to death. The most significant information not contained in those conditions themselves is this. When you are reduced to 0 hit points, you are knocked out with the following effects. You immediately move your initiative position to directly before the creature that knocked you out. Meaning, if you were about to take your turn immediately after that creature, you now no longer go until everybody else has taken their turn, and it comes to right before that creature's turn again.
You know what, though? That seems really nice in a way for healing, that you don't, burn whatever you would need to get up or not get up. You have a full round, essentially, to be healed.
Correct. You also gain the Dying 1 condition. If the effect that knocked you out was a critical success from the attacker, or the result of you critically failing, you gain Dying 2 instead. If you have the wounded condition, you then also gain extra dying equal to whatever your wounded already was. So if you have wounded 2 and you get knocked out by a critical effect, you get wounded dying 4. And you know what dying 4 gets you? Instant death. Instant. Whenever you are brought up from the dying condition, whatever your dying was at, you now have in wounded. Good?
So you were at dying 3 and you get brought back, you are at
Wounded 3.
Wounded 3.
So if you get knocked back out,
You will be
Dying.
automatic. You'll be
You're dead.
automatically dead.
You'd be dead.
There are feats that expand your capability to resist death. There are feats and builds that can bring you up to dying 5 or dying 6.
Die Hard's a feat.
Mhm.
Takes you from 4 to 5.
Is the feat called Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker?
No, it's called
Happy
Die
birthday to
Hard.
Flavor Text.
The Hans Gruber.
Now, you also cannot gain any kind of negative HP. Doesn't
Is-
work like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just 0.
So if you get like right now I have 12 hit points. If I get smoked with 25 points of damage, I'm still at dying 1.
That's right.
Okay. What happens though, Aaron, if you are dying 1
Mm-hmm.
and you take damage? Do you
Let's
get
talk about
dying
that.
2 then?
If you take damage while you are already dying, you increase your dying condition by 1.
Okay.
Or by 2 if they critically hit
Okay.
or you critically failed.
So no fireballing the corpse.
Because the corpse cannot make, I don't think, a reflex save.
No. So in D&D, it was an auto crit.
Mm-hmm.
Does that happen here if you attack a prone or an unconscious, or is it just?
Nope.
I'm thinking somebody purposely targeting that dying 1 person.
But
Nope.
that being said, you
Here's
would be
the-
flat-footed,
Uh-huh.
so you would have that penalty to your AC, which would make a crit easier.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. They also have 3 attacks. They have
Yeah.
whoever's above you has 3 actions. So if they want to, they can just stack 3 dying on you and immediately kill you on that following round.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
no. If you take any damage while you are dying, it's 1.
Increases by 1.
Unless it's a critical.
Okay.
However, at any point that you take enough damage that damage equals your HP in 1 hit, you die. You die.
Okay, so if right now I have 15 hit points.
Mm-hmm. If you took a
I get dying 1, so I'm at 0.
Mm-hmm.
If another attack hits me
Mhm.
for 15 points of damage, I'm dead.
No. If you're awake and at full HP with 15 HP and you get hit with an attack that does 15 HP, you die.
Gotcha.
Damn.
Zero is dead.
In that case, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get back up? Are you there rolls, or does it have to be heals?
Here we go. Hit points, healing, and dying. All creatures and all objects have HP. Your maximum HP represents your health, wherewithal, and heroic drive when you are in good health and rest of it. Your maximum hit points also includes the hit points you gain at first level from your ancestry and class, those that you gain at higher levels from other classes, etc., etc., etc. Some spells and other effects, as well as simply resting, can heal living or undead creatures. When you are healed, you regain hit points equal to the amount healed up to your maximum hit points. If you are unconscious and dying, or simply unconscious, and you gain, and not under the effect of like a sleeping spell or something like that, and you gain 1 HP, I believe you're good.
D&D, there are saving rolls
Yes.
to get up.
At the beginning of your turn. Yes. Dying. Blah, 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 blah. You lose the dying condition automatically and wake up if you ever have more than 1 HP. And I just was looking at this a second ago. When you're dying, at the start of each of your turns, you attempt a flat check with a DC equal to 10 plus your current dying value
Okay.
to see if you get better or worse.
And if you get worse, then you progress to dying 2.
This is called a recovery check. The effects of this check are as follows. Critical success, you reduce your dying value by 2. Success, 1. Failure, you increase it by 1. Critical failure, you increase it by 2.
2. Okay.
Allie, you were trying to say?
Okay. I have 12 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
I get hit for 11.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine. I
You're
get
up
hit
still.
for 1.
Uh-huh.
I'm unconscious.
Correct. And dying 1.
And dying.
And still dying.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You get hit for 1 non-lethal, and you're unconscious.
That's where the unconscious comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm dying 1.
Mhm.
I roll. If I succeed, I pop up.
I believe you stabilize. You simply
Stabilize.
stabilize to unconscious.
And I am not dying anything.
Yes, I'm just
I have to heal
double-checking.
to pop up.
If you lose the dying condition by succeeding at a recovery check and are still at 0 HP, you remain unconscious, but you are capable of waking up. You wake up if you ever have more than 1 HP.
Does a critical success grant a hit point?
Heroic recovery. If you have at least 1 hero point, and we'll get into those in a second. If you have at least 1 hero point, you can spend all of your hero points at the start of your turn, or whenever your dying value would increase. If you do spend all of your hero points in that moment, you automatically return to 1 HP.
Okay.
Okay? No matter how close to death you are. You lose the dying condition and become conscious. You do not gain the wounded condition when you perform a heroic recovery. DM, what are hero points? Well, let me tell you. Hero points are
Points.
DM inspiration. They are, but they are so much more prolific. They are pervasive. You automatically get 1 at the start of every session. You automatically start each and every session with 1 hero point. Conversely, at the end of every session, you lose all your hero points.
Mm.
I thought they could stack
They do. You can
but
have
not for-
up to 3.
for the session. Okay.
Mhm. The more heroic shit you do, the more you make me laugh, the more you make each other happy, the more you get along and do teamwork, the more hero points you earn.
Oh fuck, we're not getting any then.
Can I have sarcasm points?
Looking at the rogue here. Looking at the rogue. Taking all our hero points.
Now, there are things that can kill you. Oh. So, remember when I said you die if you instantly take your full HP?
Yep.
I'm wrong by half. You have to take double your full HP in order to
Okay.
instantly die.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. So you're dead. There is no coming back.
There you go. Yeah.
Dead. Okay,
Double.
so that is
A little more reasonable,
You
right?
fell off a first-story building versus falling off a second-story building.
Yeah. Well, you can survive both of those fairly easily. It's really 4th story and higher that you want to worry about.
Fair enough. That's right. That's true.
Unless you're a cat.
Unless you're a cat, yeah. Although, I had a cat named Mr. Whiskers, and I love this cat. He's a beautiful tuxedo cat. He's been passed for about 10 years now. But he did not know how to cat. He jumped up on the kitchen counter one day, and we had to rush him to the vet because he had broken both of his back legs from trying to jump up on the 4-foot counter. I do not He had to have his hip bones fused.
Jesus.
Like and subscribe for more, you guys.
All right. The game exists in 3 different states. Does anyone know what they are?
Exploration
That's 1.
Encounters.
No.
and social. Social is one, I believe.
Oh wait.
Social's not
Downtime.
1. Downtime is 1.
Shopping.
Okay.
Downtime. Yep. I'm sorry. Encounters, yes. Exploration, yes. And downtime, yes. Those are
How
the
dare you.
three.
I got 2 out of 3.
You got 3. Yeah. Those are the 3 states of play in the game. At the bottom of this document and in your player's handbook, there is a Perfidious list. There's a massive list of actions you guys can take. Way, way, way more than you might have seen in other games. There's different effects you can take on the survival skill. There's different actions you can take on the medicine skill. It's not simply like a nebulous, I'd like to use my survival to attempt to track a thing in the woods. It's, I'm going to use my survival specifically for this ability, which lets me do this specific thing. Or I'm going to use my survival specifically to use the sense direction check and try to get us out of this fucking maze. Or etc., etc., etc. I believe one of the abilities you can use is even like formulate a plan, which I think makes the DM tell you shit that you see in the environment and help you figure out things in the moment. It's really important to look over and know that list, both as the DM, but as players, because being aware of the specific things that you're capable of doing will help you exist in exploration mode and in encounter mode a lot easier.
I seriously really need
I want to get back to perception for a moment because there's something I didn't touch on, and that is your senses. That is your senses. If perception wasn't already confusing enough, let's add another layer. The only way that you can grant somebody the observed state is if somebody is observing that creature with a precise sense. The only precise sense the characters currently possess, unless they have magical bullshit, is sight. That's it. You cannot observe something if you are blinded. You cannot observe something if you cannot see it. Period. You can hear it all day. You can smell the nasty fart it laid. It is not observed. Okay? Conversely, you also have other senses. Your hearing is an imprecise sense. Your touch is an imprecise sense. You cannot make something more than hidden or with one of these senses. Okay? Then you have vague senses, which are your sense of smell. Maybe tremor sense or something, right? Like there's a few of them in there, but your best one is your sense of smell. With a vague sense, nothing can become more than undetected. Okay? You can smell something's in the room, but you don't know where it is. It's undetected. You know it's something might be here, but you don't know where it is based off smell alone. Now it makes a cough, but that cough echoed off the corners of the room. So you have a general vague sense of its direction, and you can follow that cough to where it is, where then you round the corner and you get your eyes on it and it becomes observed. Everybody understand? Questions?
So much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And we're only an hour in.
Maybe we should try doing an example game.
We are going to in just a few more minutes.
Okay.
Casio, would you like to send me an actual hardcover book so I can read all this stuff so much easier? Please?
They're sold out until April.
I know, but maybe if we ask directly and someone from there happens to watch us, we'll get a book.
Just buy the PDF off Paizo and then
Oh, I've already got
Get
it.
I
Yeah.
don't. I want a physical book. I'm that person.
well then tear down a tree
Print it out.
on the
Print all 670 pages of the core rule book on our printer.
God, I
front and
can't
back,
afford the ink.
front and back.
You can do it. Go to Kinko's. Somebody could make you a book, you know?
Does Kinko still actually exist in the States?
I think they got absorbed. It's just, you know, I'm old, so that's...
I mean, FedEx or UPS.
FedEx
Oh.
Kinko's, and then it's just FedEx
Yeah.
Express. Yeah. Alrighty. So that actually covers quite a bit. So in this moment, I'm going to go into the background, and I'm going to start preparing our little adventure that we're going to do here, our little mock thing, our little fun, inexperienced, everybody can laugh at how bad we do. But in this moment, I believe each and every one of you have characters made. Sort of fleshed out, don't you?
Yep.
Well,
More or less.
however you guys want to structure that, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Don't everybody speak at once.
Sam, you're at the top of my Zoom. Why don't you go first?
Why, hello. Bob Bobkins is names. And adventuring is my game. Well, not adventuring as much as cell sorting and selling my soul. You know, I want to see the world, okay? Like, and God, I don't remember what I saw through that portal. But I know I need to go back there any way I can.
Love it.
Bob, what do you look like?
You know, I'm your standard fantasy guy, you know, every guy's dream. Burly, nice beard coming down. I mean, at one point I heard my great grandmother's uncle's sister got freaky with a dread. That's Earth Elemental for non-Pathfinder people. And you know, it kind of shows on me, but I kind of cover them up with metal plates over my face. I think it makes me look cooler. And I carry around this, and I just smash it down in front of me. This pretty boss tower shield. I've trained really hard to be able to just grab with both hands and smash people in the face with it. So it's the perfect offense and defense. I learned that from a book.
Just the one book.
How many books do you need to read?
All of them. I mean, how?
All of them? I got places to go.
Bob Bobkins, why don't you have a hero point?
Sweet. So I get 2 now? Is that correct?
And you'll start today with 2. All right, whoever wants to go next.
I'm next on my Zoom window, so
Okay.
I will go. So Foxglove is a very pale female elf with very light blonde platinum hair, and she looks very thin and frail and dingy and gaunt, and she still is very pretty looking, but odd. She's, you know, she's off-putting. That is a really great. And yeah, I don't have much yet because she doesn't remember a lot for the last 3 months, and she's pretty secretive about her past. But around her, you can just see scurrying around. You don't quite make out what it is because it's something that your mind's just not grasping. But when it stops at scurrying, you look and it's just this little jewelry box. Just a wooden plain, no massive adornments or anything, carved out of a nice mahogany. And then every once in a while, you'll see it sprout little chicken legs and then run around her. And when you open up, it'll open up its lid, its little toothy maw, and you'll see little teeth. And then it'll just sit back down, right at her feet.
I love it. I love it. Who's next? Hero point, Allie.
Thank you. Calabra.
All right. My name's Calabra Delcinian. I hail from Daggermark. I made the journey here to the Seven Arches. I was sent by the Assassins Guild to investigate. They caught me for some minor crimes and made it very clear that my pickpocketing days were over unless I did this for them. Now, the fact that I don't remember anything on returning kind of puts a bit of a monkey wrench in the whole going back. So, damned, I gotta figure out what the hell happened on the other side because they don't take failure. Calabra is a elven tiefling. So he's got the elven traits with the tiefling heritage, blue-skinned, with the elven ears. Doesn't have horns, but has the whip-like demon tail. Dressed in a embroidered leather overcoat with a vest, high collar. Looks very much like a aristocrat for the most part. Carries a rapier and a dagger at his hip. And needs to get back to figure out what the hell happened, because if he doesn't, he won't be part of this world for long.
Fantastic, fantastic. A hero point. Allie, did you get any hero point?
You gave me one. I'll take
Oh,
another one, though.
fantastic. Oh, no. I just wanted to make sure. I thought I might have been on mute there for a moment, so I was just double checking. Absolutely. Good job, Calabra. All right. Allie, who's next?
Kobe.
Kobe.
Hey there, I'm Kobe the Kobold. Yeah, a bit of a mouthful. Usually just find him relaxing outside under a tree, playing with his herbs. He's a herbalist. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like everyone else, got a bit of a memory loss and does need to head back there because that night he smelled some amazing food through that portal. And he has to get back for that. And find out what's the deal with Pumpkin. But it's a story for another time. So you can sit down and relax or go away. You're blocking the sun.
Hero point.
And last but not least is me playing Rozek. I am a hobgoblin, blue skin, green hair, elf-like ears. I'd be a lot taller, but I'm usually kind of hunched over because I'm constantly making bombs. I come from a bomb-making clan, and we got so good at blowing each other up, I had to become a back alley surgeon to help us out. Yeah, I blow shit up.
That's worth a hero point if I've ever seen it.
It reminds me of the Disney Atlantis cartoon with the one guy who has all the dynamite sticks. He's like fiddling around with stuff with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah, but essentially, yeah. Yeah, we had no...
Victor.
I've only got 3 fingers left!
I'm so glad that there was
Black
Victor. So glad.
All right, my lovely heroes, my adventurers, my pathfinders. Before we begin our actual campaign next week, where we begin the classic Pathfinder adventure path, Kingmaker, we are going to go ahead and get you guys familiar with some of the mechanics of play. In the following scenario, you have been hired by a local village. It has absolutely nothing to do, and no experience points will be granted with our actual campaign. This
You're
is
level 2?
no. This is simply for practice purposes.
Sweet.
We are going to begin in exploration mode. All right, guys? So, in the compendium of our Roll20 room, I believe you should be able to type exploration. Yep. And you should see under the rules, exploration activities. Does anybody not see what I'm talking about?
Compendium.
Got it.
I'm not smart enough for this.
Avoid notice.
Oh, Allie, you're more than smart enough for this.
Exploration activities.
Exploration activities is the...
So I got activities, I got exploration activities, skill exploration activities, exploration mode.
You want exploration activities under rules. And it'll include things such as avoid notice, defend, detect magic, follow the expert, it's scout, search, repeat a spell, and then another section on further skill exploration activities. So go ahead and take a quick moment and review the possibilities that you have while you are in exploration mode. Obviously, if you think of something that's not on this list, we can fucking improv it. I mean, we can do a fine job with that. That's my job, right? But for the most part, for the ease of play in this tutorial, let's keep it to the list. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, I had a hard enough time trying to figure out where that was in Roll20, so I apologize. I zoned out. Am I looking in exploration mode or exploration mode of play? Or activities?
Activities.
Thank you.
Second from the top, I believe, after rules.
Yep, no worries. I just couldn't figure out where I was looking for it. And
also, you can follow along with me on these rule sheets. Here in the compendium that you guys have full access to, you know how it works. Same thing as it did in the last game room. If you're unsure about a rule, you don't have to go to Google, even though you can search the SRD with Pathfinder. You can search it right here in our game room. You can type jumping, and it'll give you the rules on jumping. You could do anything. Spellcasting, ritual spellcasting. I suggest you look up ritual spellcasting. It's freaking awesome. Awesome. Way cool. All right. So I'm going to set up your scenario. Actually, you know what we're going to do really quick is we are going to take our 10-minute break.
Good.
I'm going to get some water. You guys going to review this list, and then I'll come back and set the scenario. See you soon. Break time.
10 minutes.
All right, guys. The lot of you, the 5 lovely adventurers, are standing at the edge of town. You are pursuing some goblins that you will have been contracted to eliminate. Not a large amount of them, a band of teenage ne'er-do-well goblins that never got caught up by society, never got made into anything useful, and only ever raided local towns, and this township is kind of done with them. You've been hired to bring them in dead or alive. Your reward for this is an extra 10 gold pieces for your character creation. How about that?
Ooh, that's huge.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad. An extra 10 gold pieces for your character creation.
What do we have to do?
Well, you're standing at the edge of town. The goblins were last seen heading north through the thick forest. It's about noon, and the sun hangs directly overhead. The forest is a lush and beautiful green. It's a gently windy day. The flowers and the leaves sway, get pulled. The warm breeze pushes through your hair or across your scales, depending on what you are. And I asked you, with a direction, they headed north through the forest. As you stand at the edge of town, test your legs. What do you do?
How long ago did they leave town? Again?
Oh, you were hired today, and they last were seen a day or so ago. Raiding old McNaffy's hen house. Killed a few of her chickens.
I don't
Not cool.
see anything for. Oh, they don't have specifically track.
Yeah, they do. If you scroll down, track, you use your survival skill to find the following.
Okay.
So if
follow
you guys
features.
have your characters made in Path Builder, this is actually a good time to use your Path Builder sheets. Because in Path Builder, if you go click on a skill, it'll then open it up and give you like examples of what that skill can then be used for afterwards. So it breaks it down for you in kind of a really easy to understand manner.
Or you can also click over on the tab, the Actions tab, and that gives you a bunch of other really cool stuff you can do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not trained in survival. Is anyone trained in survival?
Yep, I am.
Should we attempt to track them?
Yeah.
Why don't you see if you can find the tracks, and then I will scout ahead. Use
Sounds
the scout
good.
action.
All right. So let's go ahead and start with that scout action there, huh?
Do I have to roll something?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. All right, scouting. You scout ahead and behind the group to watch for danger. You move at half speed. At the start of the next encounter, every creature in your party gains a +1 circumstance bonus to their initiative roll. So scouting is a concentrated action for exploration. You simply continue to do it as long as you say that you're doing it. There's no check involved.
Okay.
It applies a bonus.
Okay.
There we go. So what else might there be in this list?
You're not an expert in survival, are you?
No,
Nobody
just
is yet.
trained.
Okay, so we can't follow the expert, but the rest of us could.
We could track.
We could.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
well,
Good
we
track.
can't. Well, we're following Roserk's tracking, and Calabra's gonna scout.
No, that's not bad. I got a 15 for survival for tracking.
What did it roll?
Oh, I
You
rolled
roll
on page.
in-
Should I roll in Pathfinder?
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
we're gonna roll in the roll 20 room.
Okay. All right. So I'm at a +3.
Okay.
Oof.
So you don't have a sheet done?
No.
It's okay. We got 9. All right. Let's see. Based off of this, so you use the track ability. You follow tracks, moving it up to half your travel speed. After a successful check to track, you can continue following the tracks at half your speed without attempting additional checks for up to an hour. In some cases, you might track in an encounter. In this case, track is a single action and does not have the exploration trait. All right. On a failure, you lose the trail.
And try again after an hour.
And then you can try again after an hour.
Oh, that's nice that you can't try again right away.
Mhm.
No.
Oh, well, there you are. To begin the day's search, the party frustratedly spends an hour at the edge of the woods trying to pick up the scent in the first place.
Now, Aaron, do you have to be trained in survival to be able to track? Or can I make an untrained...
Flat check.
Well, I do have a plus to it because of the ability modifier associated with it.
Mhm.
But I'm not trained in it.
You are able to attempt tracking regardless of your trained state. However, the amount of information you get from it will automatically be less, even if you critically succeed.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'm out scouting, and I noticed that we don't have a trail, so I'm going to try to find the tracks.
Okay. How do you do so?
Using my survival skill, which is
Fantastic.
the same as his. 9.
Putting your heads together, these goblins are apparently incredibly skilled at getting in and out of town unnoticed, and you are thus far unable to pick up the trail.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Do we know the local area?
I'd say you might be reasonably familiar with it.
Is there something we could do to make a...
Could we
Not in-
investigate the chicken coop?
Well, hold on. Let Pat
Sorry.
Pat finish real quick.
Is there, if we know the general layout, can we make an assumption on a good spot for a group to hole up? Like, is there an abandoned house or a old barn or something?
While you know the layout of the town and Old McNaffy's farm, you are not intimately familiar with the extent of the forest and hills to the north.
Okay. Yeah.
You can always make I believe there might be a geography kind of check.
It'd probably be nature.
Or survival.
Yeah, let's check the different nature checks real quick.
What about investigate?
Investigate.
So I was gonna say, can we investigate to see if there's any pattern to their attacks, like frequency, or maybe they left something behind that could help us determine where they might be going to nest.
There's an action for gather information.
Recall knowledge, nature. There's a recall knowledge check for nature. And Sam, what was that? I'm sorry.
We wanted to investigate, like maybe gather information, not investigate. See if we can find a pattern to their attacks, or maybe at the scene of the crime there's evidence that'll help us locate their base of operations.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So, frustrated here at the edge of town, you head back to the scene of the crime, the reasonably large chicken coop at Old McNaffy's farm. Arriving there on the scene, you find chicken feathers, blood, and some skittish chickens milling about, mostly staying inside the coop. What would you like to do?
I would like to talk to Old McNaffy.
Okay. You call upon Old McNaffy's house and knock on the wooden door to her gentle farm abode here. After a short while, she approaches the door, hunched over with a bit of curiosity in her eyes. She inquires as to if there's anything you fine adventurers might need in assistance. She wonders what you're doing back so soon.
Well, truth be told, we couldn't find any tracks, but we were hoping you might have some information that you didn't even know you had to help us track down these chicken killers.
She's not sure what information you might be talking about, but she's more than happy to help in any way.
Have these goblins attacked anyone else?
She recalls that these goblin teenagers have been Mostly non-lethal to sentient creatures, seemingly attacking mostly farms and livestock.
Okay, so these goblin hooligans or goobligans that we'll call them, have they like
She says her neighbors have suffered a couple missing cattle and sheep here and there that have also all been attributed to the goblins. The reason that they assume that the goblins are involved is that occasionally left behind are missed arrow shots of goblinoid crafting design.
Would this, if they're taking livestock and cattle, would this be something like an occultism check would be good for, to see if this is a summoning-ish thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have a +7.
Go ahead. Oh!
Nice.
While it may be very possible that the goblins are gathering livestock for some sort of sacrificial ritual or some sort of long-standing ritual, goblins themselves do not end up being overtly magical beings. Occultism being something passed down, usually through the written word, where goblins are more of a oral storytelling tradition society and don't generally have that kind of knowledge to glow and glean off of. The magical goblins become very, very rare. So unless the brothers were serving some sort of witch, they're likely just raiding for food.
Can I try and communicate with the chickens?
Okay, chicken communication. I love it. How do you do such a thing?
We just sit down on the floor and wait for them to come over and use wild empathy.
Ooh, you have a connection to the creatures of the natural world that allows you to communicate with them on a rudimentary level. You can use diplomacy to make an impression on animals and make very simple requests of them. In most cases, wild animals will give you time to make your case. Interesting. It allows you to communicate with them on a rudimentary level. Rudimentary. Understood. Okay. Go ahead and make your diplomacy make an impression check. Let's go ahead and check out that skill. If you're looking for this, you'll be wanting to look in you'll just type in diplomacy and then open diplomacy charisma there. And then we'll check out the rules for make an impression under diplomacy. All right, diplomacy governs such abilities as gather information, make an impression, request. In this instance, make an impression with at least 1 minute of conversation during which you engage in charismatic overtures, flattery, and other acts of goodwill. You seek to make a good impression on someone to make them temporarily agreeable. What do you say to the chicken?
Not much, but we'll just kind of pick it up and just, hey, chicken. So, goblins, eh? Just sit here and chill. But, do you know which way they went by any chance? You know?
When you mention goblins, you get this sense of connection with the chicken. It's a sense of sorrow. It's just, goblins, eggs, goblins, and then it looks at its tail, or what used to be its tail, and you realize that all of its magnificent tail feathers have been ripped violently out of its backside. And then you notice a little stream of fluff heading through the grass. Almost barely imperceptible, but that fluff must have come off of these chickens' feathers, the gathered feathers from these creatures here. And while they must have stuffed as much of it as they could into some kind of goblinoid sack, there might be an imperceptible or nearly imperceptible trail of chicken fluff to help lead you.
Thanks, buddy.
And put it down.
I found a chicken fluff road we can maybe follow.
Perfect.
There you go. All right. So we're back on tracking again. You got to track the chicken road. No matter which way the party seems to look, as they reapproach the forest, it always seems to come down to tracking them through it. So what do you do?
I am going to take one of the little feathers and I'm going to give it to my little jewelry box
Ooh.
for him to kind of, because he's down there on the ground. And maybe, you know, with his chicken feet and a chicken feather. Ooh, I'm actually going to stick it up like in one of the little, between one of the little cracks so he has a little feather just like popping out. And we're going to be like, go find him.
We're going to give you a circumstance bonus to this next check.
All right, and this one's going to be a survival.
Yep, it'll be a +2 circumstance bonus on top of what you're already rolling.
So it will be a +4 total because I have a +2.
Are you trained in survival?
I am not.
Ooh, okay.
And guidance?
If you have the ability to do so. and that's +4 on top of that Foxglove.
So, and then as for divine guidance, great.
All right, and that's +5 on top of that. So that's 15. Okay. Your little jewelry box picks up another feather and another feather. And the fluff trail gets a little bit better. And then there's eggshells. And then there's a dead chicken. That's sad, but you go after and you find more feathers. And
my poor jewelry box sneezes and it just a bunch of feathers comes out.
Okay, now that we're on the trail, I'm going to go into the avoid notice.
Okay. Avoid notice skill.
Stealth. Yeah.
Got it. Let me look that one up. Exploration activities, avoid notice. You attempt a stealth check to avoid notice. Wow, that's wow, okay.
Well, the benefit that I believe is if we come into an encounter, I can use my stealth now instead of my perception.
If you are avoiding notice at the start of the encounter, kind of like we said earlier,
yeah,
you roll stealth instead of perception. That's exactly how that works.
And because I'm a rogue, if I get to use stealth or deception, I believe, I get them flat-footed, which allows me to have my sneak.
So you're nice and set up for what you're doing for.
So 23 for my sneak.
Got it. You're hanging out the back of your party. Now remember, you move at half speed, so your party's also kind of walking along there without
but isn't tracking?
I believe tracking's also half speed.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So.
And there we go. There we go. Yeah. Double check there. Yeah. All right. That's a good stealth check. Fantastic. You arrive at the edge of a rushing river, a babbling brook. Stretched taut across the river is a rope. A broken bridge, long since swept away, sits leading with that rope. The river looks to be rushing at quite some pace. There seem to be rocks that might bludgeon or pummel you should you fail your attempts to cross the river. The goblin's tracks, the chicken blood, the muddied footprints here in the river's bank, they lead to the edge of the dock. And then there's even chicken blood and some chicken fluff smeared on the ropes as if they had their hands full while crossing. What do you do?
Well, do any of you think that you can... Is this first rope... Where is this... What height is this rope?
5 foot. It was high enough for the goblins to cross. Above the rushing water, maybe 6 or so feet above the water's surface, above the dock there, above the planks, maybe 5 or so feet above the planks itself.
Okay. I have a really gross idea, but I need someone to be able to cross the current rope.
I can probably try to jump across the rocks down here.
Oh, that's 100 feet. Is this 100 feet?
It looks to be 95.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
95,
Okay.
100. I mean, if you go into the other bridge, you can. I mean, it's only 80 to the other bridge from bridge to bridge. Let's see. Athletics involves swimming, shoving, jumping, high jumping, grappling, forcing, climbing, disarming, falling, tripping. Acrobatics.
Balance.
My gross idea is not going to work.
Acrobatics covers balance, tumbling, maneuvering, and squeezing.
Okay, I'm going to. Well, can anybody cover me as I try to go across?
Sure.
I could. You're gonna try and go across the rope.
Does anybody
I'll-
have any rope?
Do not. I can try and brace the rope on this side.
And that's why we took this mission. We need to buy rope.
It looks like I have a
I have
rope. You
Oh, I have rope.
How long is the rope?
I don't know.
Let me check my gear.
It doesn't say.
It
No.
just says-
I love it that everybody's not assuming 50 foot. My brain went 50 feet. I'm like, no, it might not be. Hold on.
It just says rope.
It just says rope. It just says fucking rope. What the hell?
Yeah.
Endless rope.
We go with 50 feet.
50 feet. 50-foot rope.
So we tie two together. I'll take the other, so the under 100-foot length of rope, and I will try to walk across and tie it off so you have two ropes to kind of stable yourselves with.
I just looked at all the other ropes, and they're all base 50 feet. So, yeah.
Does that sound like an idea?
Sure.
Yeah, good thinking.
I will hold the rope at one end in case you get swept down the river.
Sounds good.
I like it. I like
Okay.
it. The party has put together their heads, and they've come up with an idea to help them safely cross. Tying one end of the long rope to the hefty fighter, and the other end of the rope to the live rogue. The rogue then attempts his crossing.
Acrobatics.
Nature guide you, blue one.
Wait, can I tell
Guiding?
how
How well? Yes, so I believe that'll be your investigation check.
okay. Yeah, like how sturdy does that look?
And let's check how we do investigations. Now, is investigation part of perception in this?
Well, perception isn't really.
A skill.
No, it's everybody's trained in, right? It's not something you can advance, so
Right.
it just advances automatically at certain points depending on your class.
What will we use here?
Crafting to see how well it's constructed.
Yep.
Or just
Yeah.
a straight intelligence check? I don't know.
No. I was-
Survival.
I'd say it's probably a recall knowledge of crafting, which is a check.
Okay,
Or-
I am trained in crafting, so I can just roll a crafting check.
Yes, because you're recalling knowledge.
Ooh.
+1.
Fantastic. Yep, to the best of your ability, you assume that rope is
Now, Aaron.
pretty
No,
No,
well.
no, not the rope, the wood stake that
Oh, the
holds
wood
up.
stake.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
want to know if I tie the rope to that.
Will it stay with two
Well,
sources of
Well, do I
tautness on
think
it?
it's sturdy enough to support weight?
Yes, it looks like it was built fairly recently. It looks like it was
Okay,
built in
so-
the last few years. Or
So I'm tying the rope to myself, and I'm using the wood post as like kind of like a belaying, like to help mediate how much how fast he can go almost.
Okay, no problem. And Pat, what were you saying?
I was going to say, from what we were talking about before, would that have maybe been a secret roll on your part?
Yes, that knowledge check
Okay.
should have been a secret roll on
Got
my
it.
Right, because you
Yes.
wouldn't know whether you failed or succeeded on that.
part.
Right.
Right. You would simply go, I try to recall knowledge, and I go, I do your check. You know X about this, and that's it. And that's
We should probably get in the habit of asking secret roll or not.
We
for
should.
now.
We should.
Yeah, but I was just pointing out because it was just one of the things that
Yeah.
we're starting to get used to, right? So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, should I roll? Like, just ask.
You should just ask, and then I would
Yeah.
roll that for you. I would ask for your modifier in that instance. But what you can tell is that it's well constructed. These posts are likely the reason that the entire bridge wasn't swept away instead of just the middle section in whatever storm took this out. All right.
All right.
And did we get a balance check? Well, you
Yeah.
have guidance
You ready?
on it as well. Kobe has
Okay.
given you guidance.
26.
Yay!
Jeez. So that's going to be our critical success on this. You're going to
But
easily
then I can move at my full speed if I'm
move at
if
your
a
full
critical.
speed. Mm-hmm.
So that's 30 feet.
There you go. So that'll get you most of the way across, I believe.
Well, now, how does the action work in exploration? Do I still have 3 actions? Can I move 3 times?
It would be an individual check for each time that you make the action.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this
So-
is looks like an encounter, but it's actually exploration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so I need to roll 2 more times then, is what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm. You got to succeed 3 times.
Ooh, 10.
Mhm. A 10 is going to get you a normal success,
And a 20.
and 20 is going
Another.
to get you another success, a critical success.
So that is 30,
75 feet.
75, so I need another one. 22.
There you go, all the way. Carefully, you inch your way across. Now, the balance in this is that I'm supposed to not set the DCs like I might in our other games, right? You're supposed to have normal, reasonable set DCs where at level 1, your general DC should be around 10 to 12 for things that you're trying to pass. All right?
But
I should-
DM Aaron's just like, screw that. 20.
Well, sometimes, I'll punish you. Right?
What have we done? We're level 0.
You're
So
my
I'm gonna-
friends.
I'm going to tie it off. I'm going to skirt this broken area as much as I can and tie it off on this post here.
Got it?
And then, so that we should have, I'm thinking like a low and a high, so they can hold on to one and walk across the other,
Okay.
right? Use it as balance.
Sounds good to me.
So I'm going to like wrap it around, tie it off, but then I'm going to like try to keep it as tight as taut as possible.
Got it. As you
All right.
create this guide rope, everybody else will gain a +4 circumstance bonus to their rolls.
All right, I am gonna go next.
Okay.
So I'm going to cast a cantrip first. I'm going to cast Inside Rope. So you're gonna see me just like lift up my shirt and out my belly button, pull out some intestines, and I'm gonna throw the intestines over top of the top rope, and I'm gonna hold on to it so I have an extra brace. And I'm kind of, like tying myself in. So even if I slip, I'm still tied onto the top rope with my intestines.
Okay, I'm just like standing there like, oi! Other people need to use this rope.
Just coating it in blood.
Well, it
coating
just helps with the chicken guts, right?
I had some spare rope. You could have just asked. It's fine.
Just go. Just go.
I was
you are.
hoping that the length of the river was going to be 50 feet because I was just going to send him over with my intestines.
You're gonna go ahead and increase your circumstance to +5,
2 + 5, and we're doing acrobatics.
and we are doing a balance check from acrobatics. Yes.
Okay, so I have a +4, so I'll have a +9.
All right. There you go.
And once again, I'm waiting in case they start to fall or the rope breaks or something to grab it.
Right.
Oh, so 18.
18 is going to be a critical success, and you can move your movement speed
So I get
across the
30 out of
rope.
90.
Started there. You would have been there. You can go ahead and roll again as you're making your way across. It's going to be another critical success, and you're going to go all the way to there. And one more time.
Or 20.
A 20 is going to be another success, and you're going to go ahead and make your way across to the other shore. Congratulations, 2 of you are across the rushing river, and now the rope is soaking in gut juice.
And I'm going to take my intestines off, and I'm just going to tap my nose, and
You-
it will go in like a tape measure.
Oh, honey, you are a freaky one, aren't you? You're a bit of a freak.
Zip.
I love it. My tail just kind of flicks back and forth.
I like take a step forward and I like put my hand on the rope. Does it seem like it's now slippery?
It seems fine. It seems fine. It's fine.
All right.
It's bloody on the first part, but at a certain point it got kind of dry. It ran out of fluid.
It's squishy, doesn't say bloody.
I'm like, you know when you got like something sticky on your hands, but it's not necessarily sticky. You're just like putting your fingers together and trying to see if you can just see the stickiness.
There's that.
You're just like this. You're just like, ew.
yeah.
Bob, do you want to come across maybe next? Because if you're gone, there's nobody there to brace your bulk.
All right.
Right. This way, at least they can brace your bulk, and they're lighter, so they should be able to come across easier.
All right. So I'll, pick up my shield, strap it across my back,
Mm-hmm.
and start walking the tightrope.
There you go. There you go. You're working on a +4
Oh, whoops.
for your circumstance bonus, which I'm feeling is high, but we're gonna keep rolling with it.
What you got?
Hey, there you go. You make it 30 feet across with your critical success.
Oh, I only got a 20
Look,
foot.
Yeah, we're
Low
elves,
speed.
so we have 30. Most people only have 20 or 25.
Oh, sorry. There you go. 20
Well,
feet.
I weighed down with the
Typical
shield and
elves.
armor,
Oh.
so
There you go.
I get 30, but it's minus.
There's 20 feet across.
All right.
Go ahead and roll again. It's a note for myself. A +4 circumstance bonus is extremely high. I should have given
Yes.
a +2. But that will be our first critical failure, even with
Ooh.
no. I don't think that's an automatic. Is that one automatic? I don't think it
I
is.
don't think so.
No,
It's
it's a
less.
failure bit because it's a net one. It goes down to critical failure.
That's what it does. It drops down one. So
Yes.
with his +4, he becomes a success. But then because it's a roll to 1, he drops
It'll
down
drop
one
to
category.
failure. Okay, so
Do-
it'll go down to normal failure.
Can I use a hero point in this situation?
Yes.
Absolutely. This
What does it do again?
It lets you re-roll.
I will use a hero point.
Okay.
So you'll
You
see
use a hero
me you'll
point.
see me kind of wobble and then recover.
There you go. Yeah, you absolutely recover. And you go ahead and move your 20 feet.
Oh, I got you guys. Oh, I thought I was gonna fall in. And then it's okay.
No,
It's
he's
just-
+4.
Yeah,
It's +4. So you do still succeed that.
Maybe I should shut up and concentrate. So wait, I moved 20, 40,
That'd be another 10.
Yep. Another
and then
10.
10, so 50,
Mm-hmm.
70,
Uh-huh.
80, 90. I've made it.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good. You make it across.
Oh, see, it's not that hard.
And as you step on the wobbly bridge with the broken boards, you slip through and fall in.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
I'm sorry. Are you puppeting? Are you puppeting right now, GM? Is that what's happening?
No, sometimes I talk through Pat. It's actually like he's nowhere near me, but it works. All right. As you have all been so intensely focused on your ally's success, you have failed to notice the ambush sneaking up on you. Everybody roll a perception check for your initiatives.
Joke's on you. That's
Mhm.
40-0. Oh, come on. 2 in a row. No one likes like the one. Not 2 in a row, excuse me.
I got a +3 to mine.
I have a +5.
I have added some of you to the tracker. Go ahead and edit your initiatives because I've got some goblin initiatives to roll.
I can't edit mine.
Oh, you can't?
I cannot.
What?
I don't think I have control over my token though either.
Oh, that would be why you wouldn't be able to edit it.
20, please.
Oh, gotcha. In fact, I'm just going to give you control of your token. There you go. Now you've got it. I know you've got it now. All right. So only one goblin is popping into existence to fire off this shot, as the others that I'm going to, in this instance, tell you are around. There are other ones that are unnoticed around you. Your characters have no idea they're there. They will show up one by one as it gets to their turns. But you can always, that there's more than one goblin that you're looking for. So you can always take the seek action on your turn or whatnot, right?
Okay.
All right. Tutorial help over. We're moving forward. Sorry. All right. Oh, these guys are harder to. There we go. That's how that does that. All right. Boom, boom. Wow, those are quick. Wow, those guys are fast. All right, very good.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're ready to do it. All right, getting into actual combat, guys. From behind this wall over here pops up a little goblin head, and he quickly fires off an arrow. But as you see his head pop up, we instead go directly into... He would have gotten a circumstance bonus on his... No, I don't think that's how... I'll look that all up later. But we'll go directly into Foxglove.
Oh,
Foxglove, yes. Because it'll be... Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So I am going to cast... Okay. I am going to... Are there any, like, sticks or anything right in this area, like, near the goblin?
Well, give me one quick moment, because I did just find out that there's a section called Surprise Attacks.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. The core rulebook covers the mechanics of surprise. Such surprise attacks should be used sparingly, even in dangerous areas. The fact that PCs are in a group scares away most animals, and setting a watch can deter even more attackers. Surprise attacks are most likely if the PCs fix something in advance that would lead to an ambush, like focusing all of your attentions on crossing a perilous bridge. Okay, so that doesn't actually tell me how surprise works.
Well, if it's the thief or the rogue, if you get surprised, they're flat-footed. So you have so we have a -2 to our AC.
If a surprise encounter were to occur, all characters roll initiative. Sleeping characters would roll perception -4. And everything goes as normal, it seems. Yeah, we're running it fine. This is fine. I should have given myself a small bonus to initiative, but otherwise this is pretty much accurate. You're just caught off guard. You'll be flat-footed. There we go.
All right. I am going to find a really nice... I'm going to peek over here. Is this all sticks?
Yes, it's brush and stick pile. Looks like it might even have point been like an adventure camp that's been kind of covered over or intentionally obscured in some fashion.
Sweet. Okay. I am going to cast my focus cantrip, spirit object. And this little sticky right here, I am now going to animate it. And it is going to get little wings. So it's going to look like a little flying stick.
Okay.
And it can move 25 feet. And it is going to stab it. Because if I spend 2 actions casting the spell, the object then gains blah 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 blah. It gains. Sorry.
What's the spell name?
It is called Spirit Object.
Spirit Object.
Hang on, let's just do this. Yoink. Ugh. Me trying to read it at the same time is not easy. There we go. So, using a sliver of Baba Yaga's power, you briefly bring an object to life. The object gains a means of locomotion, such as sprouting chicken legs, and strides up to 25 feet. Is it okay if it flies at that point? Because it just says locomotion.
Oh, such as, and then strides. Specific would override general. So if it's just giving it movement, it's not giving it flight automatically. It says it gains a means of locomotion, which means it would gain a snake's tail, perhaps. Oh, well, I guess a means of locomotion could mean hummingbird wings, right? It could mean dragonfly wings.
I'm thinking like full-on Trogdor.
Now here's the thing. That's a good question. This is what this whole session is about. Stride. Does stride cover flying? So let's check that out really quick. Pathfinder's stride action simply says you move up to your speed. So then I would have to look at speed for movement.
Too general not to say that you can't have a fly speed.
I think it is too general to say that you can't have a fly speed.
Just because they use chicken legs as an example does not mean wings are out.
You're correct. I'm just making sure, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Rule of cool?
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably rule of cool, but I'm almost certain that you are totally fine in doing this. You know, I just don't want to get the what do you call it?
Trolls.
Yeah, the trolls, the nonsense.
The rule lawyers.
Yeah,
Well,
that's not how you do it.
Didn't we state that DM rules trump all rules?
Yeah.
They do. The DM rules trump all rules. I don't see any reason why
I feel
flying would invalidate anything. I will say that fence is 5 feet tall, so it does still have to expend additional 5 feet of movement to go up, because you summoned it off of the ground.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I'm grabbing this one right here, so I mean, 25 feet, it's still gonna hit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we are going to animate this little sticky with little wingies, and we're gonna just shoot it straight into there, kind of like a catapult.
Okay.
And I have a +7 for my spell attack. Ooh.
Right.
13.
At a 13, you're gonna miss.
I'm gonna miss. All right. That was 2 actions. I'm going to just kind of move a little bit over here to free up the bridge as my third action, and I will call it good.
Sounds good. From over in the bushes on the other side, a goblin warrior that was laying in wait under a heavy brush cover pops up and out to attack those who have yet to cross. Pulling back on his short bow, he's going to go ahead and make a ranged short bow attack at, I think that is Rozek right there, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is his first action, ranged short bow attack. Did you guys end up seeing that? Did that show up to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, that shouldn't. I'll fix that later, but we'll leave that how that is right now. My attack is only 11 to hit.
I am a 17. If I'm
Man.
flat-footed, then I'm 15.
Fantastic. So, I don't hit you. We're going to go ahead and use a second attack to make another attack at you. Only it'll be at -5. So that 17 will go down to 12. And none of that worked. So what the goblin wants to do is return to being at least unseen. Right? Especially since it's become observed here.
Mm-hmm.
So what it's going to do is make the hide check to at least become unseen. The hide action. And I don't think that's going to succeed. So he's probably going to... This would be...
One question with that.
Uh-huh.
Because it will affect me.
Right.
Because he presumably stepped out from behind a tree, so he used a step action.
Mm-hmm.
Would he not have to use a step action to step back behind the tree and then use a hide action to hide?
He's currently in a thick amount of bushes.
So he's basically just ducking.
Yeah, he's basically just ducking back down.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole point is becoming unseen, not becoming undetected.
No. But like I wasn't sure if he stepped out from behind a tree, right? So that would be a 5-foot step.
Yeah,
which
but
is an
there's
action,
Ooh.
right?
You can also peek in
Yep.
in Pathfinder.
Here's a
Yes.
question. Let's say one of your actions you use is for movement,
Yes.
right? So you move 10 feet, you do 2 actions. Can you still finish your 15 feet or 30 feet of movement?
That's a good
Think so.
question. Stride is simply as an action move up to your movement speed. Once you finish that action, you go on to your next action, which is how it works. You don't mishmash actions together unless you're performing an activity which specifies which actions get mishmashed together. Then I don't think so. I think you move and then you stop your movement to make your attack, and then if you want to move more, you then have to stride more.
Okay.
Yes. As for cover, since we should go over this for a quick moment, the rules on cover. The take cover action. All right, to become successfully stealth, you have to do 2 things. The first one is become unseen, and then you have to become undetected. The first one requires you to succeed on a stealth check to hide, and then you have to move to become undetected. All right, guys, got that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Boom. All right, so the goblin is, and I think you're right. If he was prone underneath cover or something like that, he would have had to move to pop up. So I'll leave him there for now because he did pop up out and take 2 shots, and that sounds like 3 actions if movement is an action in this game. Calabra, that goes to you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take an action to draw my hand crossbow.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I will take an action to take a shot at this kobold here, or goblin.
Okay.
Oh,
25.
A 25 is absolutely going to hit. You guys do a good job.
Is that a critical hit?
It is not. It's not 10 over.
Okay. So that is 4 points of piercing damage.
There we go.
And I
4
don't get
points piercing.
sneak because he is not flat-footed. And because I didn't use stealth to start my... Okay.
And you're attacking
Okay.
this one here?
The one on my side of the... Right here. The only one I can see.
Right. He's behind a wall. Not completely, but he'd have minor cover, which is what I'm still trying to figure out. Cover. Okay. Core rulebook. When you're behind an obstacle that could block weapons, guard you against explosions, or make you harder to detect, you're behind cover. Standard cover gives you a +2 circumstance to AC, which would have simply increased his. It also gives you that same bonus to reflex saves against AoEs stealth checks to hide, sneak, or avoid detection, which are all different things. And you can increase this to greater cover by using the take cover greater action, the take cover basic action, which will increase the circumstance bonus to +4. So if you're already in cover, you can take an action to take greater cover and get a +4 to your AC. If you're already in cover, you have +2. However, if the cover for any reason is light cover, like when it's provided by a creature or a dense brush, it's only a +1 to your AC. Currently, this guy's benefiting from a +2. That still hits.
Okay. Then I'm going to use my third action to move into the brush.
Got it.
To try to... I can't hide, but try to become unseen, I guess, by moving into the brush.
Got it.
I don't know if I have to hide or not or whatever.
I believe you'll enter into concealment, because the brush is some sort of concealment. Concealment. Yep. All right. This is a better ship. The Archives of Nethys has all of this really well. Concealable, concealment, cover. It's a plus. You'll be in a +1 bonus because it's light. It's technically light cover that the brush is in, but it does give you the ability to then take cover or hide on your next turn.
So next round I can use a new action to try to hide or whatever.
Correct. And once you successfully hide, you can then sneak. So hide will take you to unseen. Sneak will take you to undetected.
Okay.
It's impossible to go to unnoticed until you leave the area or kill everything.
Okay.
There we go. And that'll go into what are we looking at? Kobe?
Yeah.
Kobe.
So I can see that goblin, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Just around, say, hey, there's no need for that. Why don't you just chill out? And I'll spend 2 actions to cast Ray of Frost at it.
Ooh, I like that. All right, kobolds versus goblins. It's an age-old war, isn't it? That's a hit. It's not a critical hit, but it is a hit for 4 points of cold damage, which does not destroy the goblin.
And then, I'll use my third action to raise shield.
Raise shield.
Raise a shield, yes.
Let's
that one.
check out the raise shield action for our players. Huh?
Increase your AC by 2.
Yep, that's it. You position your shield to protect yourself. When you have, you gain a bonus. Now, in Pathfinder, your shield is not inexplicably indestructible. It can break. So we'll get into that if it comes to it. Sounds good?
Yep.
Sounds good. All right. And did you have anything? Oh, no, you Ray of Frost and then Ray Shield. Love it. We go into this goblin over here. This goblin who just got shot and is not having a great time and getting attacked by a stick is going to... Oh, gosh. Yeah, there's even a big old bulky guy on the other side. Well, no sense running off now. We're going to go ahead and take some arrow strikes. We're going to take a short bow attack at... look, you know what? Let's shoot the guy who shot me. He seems pretty dangerous. We're going to roll a 19 to hit, which I believe is going to hit Calabra.
But you said I have a +1 or +2?
1 circumstance bonus.
Okay, so then yes, it will, because my AC then is 19.
Fantastic, fantastic. We go into only 2 piercing damage, but if I had crit, that would have hurt.
So 2 piercing damage.
2 piercing damage.
Damage.
All right. Seeing that he didn't, seeing as he didn't, do as much as he might have wanted to, he's going to target you again, and at a -5, he's going to fire. And that is not going to hit, not by a long shot. All right. Now he's going to take cover for a +4 circumstance bonus to his nonsense.
Okay.
All right. Then from behind you, Calabra, we have another goblin popping out of the brush and screeching as he rushes forward in his movement. And he pulls out this wicked-looking, gnarly goblin blade known as a dog slicer. And he attacks you with it. He slashes the blade at you, but you nimbly avoid it. As the only roll is a 15. He's going to go at you one more time. And that would be at -5, making him roll a 14, which would be a failure. So he's unable to strike you, and he ran forward. That's all 3 actions. We go off to the final goblin over here, who is going to pop up out of the brush and take an attack at... Who did I attack last time? Was Rozek. So I'll attack Kobe here, who's just fired off the beam. So I pop up with 1 action. I fire off my short bow for a 19, which is going to hit for my second one. What?
So my reaction to do shield block.
Reaction?
Yep.
Shield block. Fantastic. For our audience, it is you snap your shield into place to ward off a blow. Your shield prevents you from taking an amount of damage up to the shield's hardness. You and the shield each take any remaining damage, possibly breaking or destroying the shield. What's the hardness of your shield, sir?
3.
3. You avoid 2 points of damage, and no damage goes through to the shield or you. Done.
Nice.
Very good. That goblin does have one more shot he can take at you, and he's going to do it at -5. Oh, there's a 21, and that's going to hit. Now, does your shield block reaction's been used? Does that apply to this one as well? I don't think that it does. I think it's to ward off a blow, a single physical attack. So this one is 26. What's your 21 to hit? Your AC is
18.
18. So that's just a normal hit for 4 piercing damage is what you take from that. All right, you guys see the numbers on those criticals?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, those are scary, aren't they? All right, well, ending that, we go into Rozek's turn. What do you got first, Rozek?
Cool. I am going to reach into my little satchel here and root around and pull out a firebomb and lob it at the first guy.
Okay.
Again.
Gotta love it.
All right, and it's a +5 to hit. And I will have everything put it.
Oh.
So 25 to hit.
That's gonna crit.
And I believe it was a D8.
Which type of bomb was it?
This is the Alchemist Fire Lesser.
The Alchemist Fire Lesser.
Are you setting the only way we have to get back on fire right now?
Back that way for max damage.
Are you throwing fire in a forest? That's what I'm asking.
Good God.
In the middle of summer, so it's dry and kindly.
Please don't burn down the trees.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I should have used the lightning one.
Too late.
And what does it do on a crit?
Usually it's double damage unless it says something specific.
If it does something, not everything has the deadly or extra dice, so then it's just double the damage.
It's just double damage then. Well, that instantly kills that goblin. Go ahead and explain that.
He's just trying to hide from me, and I kind of look out for him, and I see his little butt sticking out through the bushes, and I just lob it at him, and just consumed in flame, and ash just falls.
The Alchemist Fire, the sticky and incredibly flammable substance, drips onto the forest floor.
Do you just say napalm?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Alchemist Fire is.
Yep.
Anything else?
Did I set trees on fire?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Not this round.
Yep. So I don't have persistent fire damage. I'm talk to the druid, Kobe. I'm sorry, I got this, and I will pull out from my satchel a water balloon.
But you've used 2 actions already.
-10
Yeah.
to this throw.
You've pulled out your alchemist fire.
Yeah, that's a free
That's
action
one.
to pull it out.
The first object interaction
it?
is free. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I just said
Cool.
that for flavor. So yeah, I will roll to hit the fire.
Well, hold on. This is a learning session, so give me a moment. And we're gonna pull up equipping items.
Pretty sure his first object interaction is free, so the action would be attacking. The second action would be pulling out the water balloon, and then the third action would be lobbing it. But that would be at a -5 because it's a second attack, or is it his third action, so it's -10?
It's his second attack, so it'd be -5.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that is how it works. Okay.
Cool.
Very good.
Yeah, my bombs are essentially spells. Like I have to go under spells to find my bombs.
Right. Does your bomb carry an action cost with it? I'm actually looking at it right now. No, it's a simple one-handed action. It's a strike.
Right. Like when I
Strike
make every day I get regents to infuse,
Uh-huh.
and then as an action I can do quick alchemy, which makes the bomb.
Yes.
So like if I did that right after a long rest, then I have the bombs ready.
Yeah, so we're all good. We're all
So
good.
if grabbing the first bomb was a free action, would grabbing his crossbow been a free action for Setical?
Yes, it should have been.
Okay. Cool.
I was looking up a bunch of just every step in the background. I assumed he had done his own research on it.
No problem. I thought
I was
drawing a
wrong.
weapon was an action because there's a feat you can take of quick draw, where you get draw the weapon and attack all with one action.
Well, you know
I-
what?
So that's why, because I'm pretty sure that drawing a weapon is an action. It might not be for his alchemist, but I'm pretty sure drawing an action's a weapon.
Quick draw is draw your weapon and attack in the same motion. You interact, draw a weapon, and then strike with that weapon, all as part of the same. All as part of the same thing. Yeah, so that's interact. Interact. You use your hands, hand or hands to manipulate an object or a terrain. This is an action. The interact action. You grab an unattended or stored object, open a door, or produce some similar effect. That is
I don't think his
interact.
bombs are stored, though. Wouldn't they be like just.
Even an item on your belt is retrieving a stored object. An object is considered stored if it is not actively in your hands.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's so. So drawing my crossbow is an action.
So when
So
Unless
it would
it's in my
be
hand
pulling
already.
So it would be pulling out a bomb that's not actively in your hand while you're walking through the forest.
Yeah.
Thus, your final action does not go off.
Okay, so I'm just holding the water balloon.
Yes, you're just
Okay.
holding the water balloon. That's it. So the action economy in Pathfinder is a bit more brutal in that aspect.
yeah, but you
Nice.
get 3 actions to do whatever you want with them. So in a
That
way,
is-
it's kind of not 'cause you get a lot
That
more
is very
options if
true.
you don't need to move.
Yes. Also, this is why feats exist, because clearly Quick Draw eliminates that and might be really, really useful for you now, right? Rosek?
Where it's not in D&D, it's very useful in here.
Yes, that's great. This is why we're doing this session entirely. Fantastic. Well, one of those goblins is burnt to a crisp as we go into Bob Bobkin's turn. Finally, Bob. What do you do?
Oh, finally. All right, so I guess action, pull my shield from my back. Action 2, I go into my Everstand stance.
All right. What does that
And I am no longer flat-footed, correct?
do? Yes, you're good.
Okay, so I'll take that off. I will post it in the chat. So I enter a stance, and this stance is kind of like rage. in that it lasts until either I violate the requirements of it, which is I brace my hands, right, my shield with both hands. So I'm
Okay.
basically just holding it up in front of me. And it gives me a +2 hardness bonus. And I haven't figured it out yet, but increase the weapon damage die of the shield's boss or spikes by 1 step. I'm not sure what they mean by 1 step.
Oh, it'll be damage die.
6
So-
to 8, 8 to 10.
Okay, got it. All right, that's what I was wondering, but I couldn't find any actual literature on it. So instead of doing a D6 of damage, it does a D8 of damage now.
Awesome.
And yes. Oh, and yeah, I get a +2 bonus. Sorry, when I'm using the shield block reaction,
Okay. Nice.
and I will take the ready shield final action to give myself a +2 to AC.
You know that gif of that anime boss who's just casting like a shit ton of buffs one after the other? That was your whole turn. Right there. Yeah. Ching, ching, life shield, necrotic armor.
Come at me!
You're ridiculous.
And that's my whole turn because I haven't moved.
I love it. Well, we're gonna go right back to the start with Foxglove. Foxglove, what do you got for us?
All right, I'm going to step 10 feet in, so I'm 5 feet out.
There you go.
And I'm going to cast Bane.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the hokey pokey.
I could. So Bane here
That's an
is-
action.
Bane here is 5 feet around me.
Okay.
And it is a will save.
Will save, and only affects enemies. So that's good to know. Good to know.
So it will affect our little goblin friend, and he'll have a -2 or -1 to all of the stuff as long as he is in my area. And then each round, I can expend an action to 5 foot the radius out further and further.
Oh wow! Ooh. I like it. Yeah. So I fail.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
he has a -1.
-1. Nice and simple. Anything else?
No, because that was a double action.
That's right. Most spells are double actions. Well, there we go. That goblin is dead because he got exploded by a bomb. So, Calabra.
Okay, so I'm gonna obviously wheel on this guy, but as I turn around, because I take it he's tried to stab me in the back. As I turn around, I have Form of the Fiend, which is that. So my tail, I can actually use it to make an attack.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make a unarmed attack with that. So I'll go back here, and where is it? I have it here. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna whip him around with my tail as one action for a 19.
For a 19 is a hit.
That's 3 points of damage.
3 points of damage.
And then I'm going to draw my rapier for my second action, and then stab him with it for my last action.
I love it.
So rapier for 23 to hit.
23 is another hit, and the rapier
That's 9 points of damage.
pierces through
that would
him.
actually-
Oh,
be-
sorry, add -5. No, that's -4 because it's a rapier. So that would be a 19 to hit. Because that's my second attack with it. My
It's still
second
a hit.
attack action. Okay. So 9 points of piercing.
There we go. That's interesting. Okay. If you click on so you see where you hit you
Yeah.
hit rapier,
No, I should have hit second, but I forgot that it was my second attack.
it'll automatically apply
Yeah.
those negatives. That's neat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very neat. You
Yeah,
killed
I
the
just forgot.
goblin in front of you.
Cool.
There you go.
So that was my 3 actions, so I'm done.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's a certain amount of balance to that system, isn't there?
Mhm.
It's kind of satisfying. All right, we go into Kobe. What do you got for us?
Same thing. Summon up some frosty rain and chuck it at the goblin.
Okay.
That one.
Ah. A ray of frost blasts out, and it hits, even with the concealment from the lesser cover there. Good job. Good job. Anything
Kills
else?
it, right?
With 2
Totally.
points of cold damage? No.
Ah. Okay. I'll raise my shield.
You raise your shield back up. Fantastic. Very good. All right, and then we go into some Goblin Warriors turns. All right, so this guy over here, I believe he ended his turn by taking cover, gaining the. Yeah, so how do I do this? Yeah, so I'll go ahead and pop out to shoot, and that'll be my attack. That'll lose my greater cover and return me to normal cover. And that is just single action. There we go. 18. I'm sorry, I should have declared my target first. I haven't attacked Foxglove yet, have I?
Nope.
You have not.
All right, 18 against Foxglove.
Very much will hit.
All right. Now, does this cause some sort of focus or concentration type check to you?
I do not believe there is any concentration checks.
Okay. We'll look up the intricacies of spell casting. Doesn't hurt to look them up now, right?
You have sustained
That's
spells.
what this is for.
Which, yeah. You have, on your turn, you have to spend an action to sustain it,
Yes, and I haven't done that yet.
Got
which can
it.
also trigger attacks of opportunity, I'm pretty sure.
Some abilities and spells can disrupt a spell. Okay. If a spell is disrupted during the sustain a spell action, it disappears immediately. Yeah, I don't think there are concentration type effects. I think you're right. Disrupt. Nope. Disrupting? Nope, that's an entire type of weapon. No, I think you're good to go. I think you're good to go. All right.
I take
That's
4 points of piercing.
4 points of piercing. And so the goblin attacked. Now he's going to take cover as an action and then hide. So as I hide, this check would be compared to your character's passive perceptions, which in this game is equivalent to what it was in D&D. 10 plus your perception skill.
Got it.
Proficiency.
Plus,
No, it's if you look under perception on your sheet, there's a circle with or with a number in it. Mine is 6, so that would be what mine is. So it'd be 10 plus 6. It'd be 16.
Okay.
there you go. And so I'm going to go ahead and roll my stealth check for the goblin. I rolled a nat 20, which means the goblin becomes unseen. While you are aware of his position, you no longer have any actual vision on him, meaning he will benefit from a concealment bonus, that flat check we will talk about if you attempt to target him. All right, and that's it for his turn. We go into this guy up here who's going to fire off a round at, that guy's got a shield up and the other guy looks a little bit less defended. Let's go after him. Let's go after the less defended guy. We're going to shoot at Rozek over there, who just threw a bomb. Short bow. Oh, hey! I get one. Fantastic.
Boo.
Ooh, I know. All right. So, do I double damage?
No, it's gonna be 9 because it's showing.
5 and a 4.
I think
Deadly.
it's already doubled it.
I threw it on the deadly. There we go. Yes. All right. So that's 9 points of damage.
Got it.
Very good. Very good. What is deadly?
There's extra damage on crits.
But it only rolled 1d6 bonus damage instead of my deadly, which is 1d10.
I think that's the critical. No, oh, no. Yeah, I think you should add that 1d10 on top of that.
Mm-hmm. I think so
I
too.
think.
Roll this after doubling the weapon's damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you've done 9, and now roll a d10.
Damn, it's like a brutal critical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so that is an extra 2, which is lucky for you, as
Yep.
we only go to 11. Boom. Well, that was satisfying. All right, so that was my first attack that round. Seeing as he did so well, he's going to fire again. He misses, and then he takes cover, which is effectively getting really down low here. In this lesser cover, that's going to increase his circumstance bonus to only +2 from his +1. All right. And that'll go into Ryzik. Now, notice that Ryzik, the Goblin Warrior, and Bob all have the same initiative. The way that Pathfinder handles this is, between me and you guys, I win initiative every single time. There's no contest. It doesn't matter if the creature has
Okay.
two
Cool.
-2 dex. Doesn't matter.
Cool. Okay.
Between you guys, you choose, but you choose at the start, and then I raise whoever is up 1 or down 1, right?
Cool.
So we'll go with Ryzik because that's the way we've been doing it so far. But that's how the game handles it. All right, Ryzik, go ahead.
Okay, so the fire doesn't seem like it's going to be going out anytime soon.
No, it's alchemical fire. You've worked with the stuff and
Yep.
made this stuff. It's about to spread.
Yep. Okay, I will toss my water balloon at it.
Fantastic. You toss the water balloon at it, and it
Oh my god!
Critical hit on the fire.
Nice.
fires out.
Okay, so that was
Only
one,
you.
right?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Wait,
You're welcome. That was
Isn't that
completely
when
my
you
bad.
put water on alchemist fire? It gets worse.
Yeah, and I'm not. We're
That is
letting him
alchemist
have this
water.
one.
It's alchemist water.
It's alchemist water.
That's alchemist water. It's
Just
anti-alchemist fire.
It's just salt. Baking soda.
Yeah, like if one of you guys were persistent with fire damage, like I could throw the water balloon at you.
Allie,
It deals 1 non-lethal bludgeoning damage, and it takes away that
I
fire.
love it. I love it.
Allie, hero point. Salt.
What?
It's salt. You're killing me.
It's just a water balloon full of salt.
You
Or
killing
does
me.
Baking
say-
soda.
You're literally hitting someone with a beanbag.
It says or extinguishes 1 square of fire for a larger fire.
Yeah, it just says fire. It doesn't say which kind of fire. It's
Yeah,
just
it's just
fire.
fire.
All
I
fire.
think that's fair.
It's-
Okay.
It has the name, the word fire in it. It counts as fire.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So then that was at 1 action. Second action, I will pull out my long air repeater.
Okay.
Third action, I will shoot it at him.
All right. This will be -5 because it's technically your
Yep.
second attack of the turn.
So it'll be just whatever my die shows because I have a +5.
Oh, neat. That's still a hit.
17. And that is a D4.
And that will kill the goblin.
Oh man, I really overkilled that other one.
You did. Yeah, they only have 6 HP. Fantastic. Only 1 goblin remains.
Okay.
And that'll go into Bob Bobkins.
So the one over here is
Currently unseen.
Unseen.
You know where he is, but you do
Okay.
not have sight
All right.
on him.
Let's see, 40-ish feet. All right, so I will move to his last known position.
hmm
Uh,
Now, that is a wall there.
oh, is it a tall wall?
It's about 5 feet tall, as previously stated.
Okay. Uh,
Did that change your plans?
no, I'm gonna go. up to it again, like right up to it. Do I see it now?
He's still technically on the other side of cover, I'd say, because of the brush and the fact that he's a much smaller creature than you, and the fact that he rolled a nat 20. You still haven't beat it.
Okay, then I will stand here, and my final action, I will raise my shield.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Very good. Very good. What I am trying to get you to do is try your concealment attacks so people can have a test with it, right? Yeah, but you're good. You're good.
No, I'm doing what a tank should be doing.
That's right. We'll let Foxglove attempt those concealed attacks or whatever she decides to do.
Well, I'm actually going to move 40. I'm going to use 2 actions to get up in here. So now he'll need to roll the will save because it's not a visual thing. I fill his mind.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry, that was a stealth check. But
I need
what
to
did I
make
roll?
the save?
I rolled a 10, and his will would have been plus -1.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, plus 3. His will would have been plus 3. 13.
I have a 17.
Very good.
And I am
A 17 DC.
Yeah.
Wow, at level 1.
Most characters will, because it's your
Is that
key ability
normal?
plus your proficiency. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the way this works, pretty much everybody should have in their key ability should have an 18, which is plus 4, and then trained in your proficiency is 3. So
okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm still getting used to it. So sorry about that, guys.
No.
And I'm just going to slide down with my back against the wall and just kind of sit on the floor. And stealth.
Got it. You go ahead and take the hide action.
Plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
Allie, I have a question. Your aura that's on,
Uh-huh.
does it state of your choice?
It's enemies.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I would imagine that you guys automatically aren't, and I would probably need to determine non-hostiles.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just say, since it says enemies, that I don't have to every single time go you.
Oh, the
that makes
creatures
sense.
of the forest.
Yeah.
No, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, anything the DM can reasonably consider your character's enemy. Right.
Yeah.
You ever see a squirrel's soul cry?
All right. Well, that's very good. We go into Calabra. You still got no sight on this creature, but
I knew where he was, right?
absolutely. And he
So
doesn't seem to
I'm
have
going to
moved from
assume that
spot.
he hasn't moved. Not that I know if he has or not, but I'm going to use 2 actions
Mhm.
to move 60 feet, which will put me right there.
Okay. All right. Now that
is-
I believe will put you in plain sight with the creature
Okay.
because you're on that side of the wall.
Oh, hello there.
There is, however, brush, which provided
Okay.
you concealment, and he did take cover first.
Yep.
So I guess you might even have to use the seek action here.
Okay, that's
For
why I
the-
wasn't sure.
Yeah, for the purposes of this, I'll check later, but for the purposes of the tutorial, I'm going to force you to use the seek action to
Sounds
find it.
good. Is it just an automatic, or do I have to roll something
You roll perception to seek.
to perceive? Okay.
And you are looking to get
25.
over his. You meet his stealth check because he rolled
Okay.
25.
So
for
does
stealth
meet
check.
beat or?
Yeah, meet beats, which you find him.
Okay. So that's my 3 actions, though.
Oh,
I know where
okay.
he is now.
Now you've located him.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, that'll go into Kobe, who is still existent on the other side of the water hazard. Kobe, you have no sight on this creature, and you do not know that he's there. What do you do?
Oh, sorry. Really fast.
Oh,
Is
you
it
do know he's there. Sorry, go
a
ahead.
free-ish action for him to let us know where the goblin is?
Speech is, I believe, considered to be free-ish, but let me.
Because I
That's
think, if I remember correctly, as part of like finding something, you can state it. Like, oh, right here.
Speaking, speech. Speed, speaking, speech. I would say that until I find anything that says otherwise, and I'm not seeing anything
Okay.
governing speech for that yet.
Then I will just say, oh, here he is, right here at the bottom, right on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, as long as what you're saying reasonably fits within the time fragment, then I think you're good.
Okay.
Yep. All right, and that'll go into Kobe. Yes, you've been notified. But you still don't have. So he's still unseen to you because of the cover and all of your allies in the way.
Kobe's still on the other
He's
side.
also 140 feet away.
Yeah, there is that too.
There is
Yeah.
that.
But I can still try.
Mhm.
So, one action move over here. And then, Ray of Frost, go!
Ray of Frost. Now,
See, I knew I sat down for a reason.
now he is behind. He did take cover. That'll give him a +4, and he's currently unseen to you, which means you need to roll his concealment check. So you'll first start by rolling a d20.
Would those be secret rolls?
No, not when they're unseen.
Six.
When they're undetected, yes. Because when they're undetected, you don't know if you hit them in the spot. But when they're just unseen, you will know if you hit them because they'll make a noise or something. With your roll, unfortunately, you miss. And even Calabra can see that you just slam your Ray of Frost against the outside of the cover.
I think he's there.
But you know he's
Close,
there.
close.
You just hit the cover instead of him.
Yeah, that's me.
That's it. There you go. So that's how that works for you guys too. If you guys are behind total cover, you immediately gain that concealment bonus, which means whatever your enemy's trying to do might automatically miss. He might not even get to make his roll.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's how that works. We go into this guy's goblin turn. All right, we need to see how disengaging works in this.
Run away!
Oh, you have to have the feat or class ability to take attacks of opportunity, I believe.
Goblin
Oh.
Scuttle. Is that?
It's not an automatic thing. Not everybody has one.
Oh, fantastic. I like that.
I don't have one right now. I don't have attack of opportunity.
I do.
I've got Goblin Scuttle. So you have to spec into attack of opportunity?
Yep.
Interesting.
Or it's a
fighters
class.
get it. Yeah.
Like fighters get it, certain classes will get it, but
Oh,
not
the
everybody
goblins-
gets it automatically.
The Goblin is going to do the only thing he can do. He's going to try and scuttle away down this embankment. So we're going to trigger an attack of opportunity. It's good because we're covering a lot of bases in this, right?
Do I get any bonus because there's 3 of us ganging up on him?
No, I do not think so.
Okay. Then I will try to be a boss against him. So I'm
Especially
basically
since
like,
only
see him
you
start
attack
scuttling
him.
away, and I just like smash down my shield over the fence. Oops.
All right. Yeah. All right. Even with his concealment bonuses and cover bonuses.
Oh wait, I need to re-roll that because
Oh,
it's
do
supposed
you?
to be a D8 because I'm in my stance.
Oh, the damage. You need to re-roll the damage. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Your shield, the edge of it just
Oh.
cuts his neck from his body. Gone.
Perfect.
He's gone. And the party can then gather up the corpses of these goblins, recover chicken feathers, the eggs, the bodies of the chicken as proof. And they make their way back across the bridge.
Does anybody want some help across?
I'm good, thanks.
They find their way back through the forest. They've left themselves quite the trampled trail to follow. And as they assure Miss Old McNaffy that her chickens are forever safe going forward, she pays them so kindly an extra 10 gold pieces for their character creation each.
I can finally afford food. Yo,
I
spent,
want. Oh, go ahead.
I'm down to before that I was down to 1 silver piece and 9 copper, and that's just buying the tower shield scale mail, the shield boss for it, and then a dagger, 1 week of rations, excuse me, a backpack and 3 torches.
You guys get to start a little bit flushed here.
I
I'm
like
okay
it.
with that.
You don't just get crap. You got to decide
Yeah.
what you get.
Money,
Right.
gold. From what I understand, gold is pretty tight in Pathfinder. Like
Mhm.
This is
it's,
the age
it's
of
not
ill
like
omens,
D&D
man.
where you
Yeah.
have like 500 gold and money everywhere.
Yeah.
And if we're
I
doing
take the chicken
Kingmaker,
instead of the gold.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I'll take those chicken eggs.
Yeah. Kingmaker's kind of lean, guys,
Yeah,
as far as I understand.
but we also have to
not-
start
we're not-
like
we're
a
doing
nation.
Gatewalkers,
Are we doing
yeah.
the nation thing?
No, we're
too?
doing Gatewalkers. We're not doing Kingmaker.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, my other room's doing Kingmaker. Yeah. All right, guys.
That was good.
For all of those of you watching, thank you for joining us. Thank you. Please, please, Allie.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, please do that. And
Need a sign.
yeah, I just point at it, but my finger will burst into fire.
Feel dirty all over.
I do a little bit, yeah. But we got to do it. We got to do it.
I know it's hard.
appreciate
Nobody
you
likes
all
you.
out there so much. Thank you for watching our podcast. We hope that we've helped you a little bit understand some of the mechanics of Pathfinder. And we really sincerely hope that you join us for our adventures going forward as we play the Gatewalker Chronicles moving forward. Fantastic. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night. Thanks.
Bye.